Hello, my friends. Welcome to our sleeping story. The snow begins to fall outside the tall arched window of the ancient library, a soft and silent curtain of white that separates you from the rest of the world and wraps the building in a blanket of quiet. You are sitting in a comfortable leather armchair that has been shaped by decades of readers before you. Its surface cool and smooth to the touch, smelling faintly of old wood and beeswax polish. The room is vast and dim, lit only by the warm orange glow of a fire crackling in the massive stone hearth across the room and the soft yellow light of a brass reading lamp on the table beside you. The air is still and smells of parchment and leather bindings and the dry dust of centuries, a scent that is comforting and grounding. You look up at the shelves that line the walls, reaching all the way up to the shadowed ceiling, rows and rows of books standing in silent ranks like soldiers of peace waiting to be read. You are not here to rush, you are not here to work, you are here simply to be, to exist in this space of perfect tranquility. You pick up a heavy book on the table, its cover made of thick dark blue cloth that feels slightly rough under your fingertips. You run your hand over the gold lettering on the spine, feeling the indentations of the title. You open the book slowly, carefully listening to the faint creak of the binding, a sound that speaks of age and durability. The pages are thick and creamy yellowed slightly at the edges, and they make a soft rustling sound as you turn them one by one. Rustle. It is a rhythmic sound, a hypnotic sound that mimics the beating of a slow heart. You are not reading the words, you are just watching the shapes of the letters, the flow of the ink on the paper. You close the book gently and place it back on the stack. You stand up slowly, your movements heavy and languid, and walk toward the window. The floorboards are made of dark oak, and they creak softly under your weight, a friendly sound that echoes slightly in the large room. You reach the window and look out at the garden below, which is rapidly disappearing under the snow. The flakes are large and fluffy, drifting down in a mesmerizing dance, spiraling and floating before landing on the ground. You watch one specific flake, following its path from the top of the window frame all the way down until it merges with the white mound on the windowsill. Then you pick another flake and follow it, and another. It is a game of patience, a meditation on gravity and air. The world outside is monochrome, a study in shades of white and gray and black. The trees are dark skeletons, their branches coated in white lines. The stone wall at the edge of the garden is a soft hump of snow. There is no wind, just the steady, relentless fall of the snow. You feel a deep sense of safety knowing that you are inside, warm and dry, while the weather turns the world into a sculpture of ice. You turn away from the window and walk toward the fireplace. The heat reaches out to greet you, a gentle wave of warmth that relaxes the muscles in your face and shoulders. You stand before the fire, watching the flames dance. They flicker and leap, changing color from deep red to bright orange to yellow to blue at the base. You listen to sounds of the fire, the pop of a sap pocket, exploding, the hiss of escaping gas to crumble a log as it turns to ash. Pop, hiss, crackle. It is a primal sound, a sound that humans have listened to for thousands of years. You pick up a heavy iron poker and gently adjust a log, sending a shower of sparks flying up the chimney like tiny fireflies. You watch them rise and fade, disappearing into the darkness. You place a new log on the fire, a piece of dry birch with peeling white bark. You watch the bark catch fire, curling and blackening before the wood itself ignites. You feel the heat increase slightly, a cozy intensity that makes you feel sleepy. You turn and look at the rows of shelves again, deciding to explore the stacks. You walk down a long aisle between the bookcases, the air feeling cooler here away from the fire. The silence is deeper here, insulated by the thousands of paper pages. You run your finger along the spines of the books as you walk, a continuous tactile connection. Smooth, rough. You see books bound in red leather, books bound in green cloth, books with marble covers. You stop and pull one out at random. It is a book about botany filled with detailed hand-drawn illustrations of ferns. You look at the delicate lines of the leaves, the shading of the stems. You turn the pages, slowly admiring the artistry. You imagine the person who drew these pictures hundreds of years ago, sitting in a garden with a pen and ink. You feel a connection to them across time. You slide the book back into its slot, making sure it is perfectly aligned with its neighbors. You appreciate the order of the library, the system that keeps everything in its place. You walk to the end of the aisle and turn into the next one. This section contains old maps rolled up in tubes and stored in honeycomb shelves. You pull out a map and unroll it on a flat table. It is a map of the stars, a celestial chart showing the constellations. You trace the lines of the Great Bear, the Little Dipper, Cassiopeia. You look at the names written in elegant cursive script. You roll the map back up, carefully tying it with a faded red ribbon. You continue your slow walk to the library, feeling like a ghost drifting through a sanctuary of knowledge. You find a spiral staircase made of wrought iron in the corner of the room. You put your hand on the cold metal railing and begin to climb. The steps spiral up and up, leading to the gallery level. You climb slowly, counting the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your footsteps ring softly on the metal. Clang, clang, clang. You reach the top and look down at the main floor. The armchair looks small from up here. The fire looks like a bright eye in the darkness. You walk along the gallery, looking at the books on the upper shelves. These are the oldest books, the ones that are rarely touched. They are covered in a fine layer of dust. You blow gently on a spine, disturbing the dust, which floats into the air and dances in the light. You feel a sneeze coming on, but it fades away, leaving you with a pleasant, tingling sensation. You walk to the end of the gallery where there is a small alcove with a round window. You sit on the cushioned window seat, tucking your legs up under you. You look out at the snow again. It is falling harder, now a solid wall of white. The light outside is fading, turning from gray to a deep blue twilight. The day is ending. The long, quiet night is beginning. You feel a wave of tiredness wash over you, a heavy, warm sensation that starts in your legs and moves up to your head. You rest your head against the cool glass of the window. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the silence of the library. It is not an empty silence. It is a full silence. It is filled with the whispers of the books, the breathing of the building. You open your eyes and decide to go back down to the fire. You walk back along the gallery, down the spiral staircase, and across the wooden floor. You return to the leather armchair and sit down, sinking into the soft cushions. You pick up a wool blanket that was draped over the back of the chair and pull it over your legs. It is warm and soft and smells of lavender. You settle in adjusting your position until you are perfectly comfortable. You look at the fire again, which is burned down to a bed of glowing coals. You watch the pulsing red light. You let your mind wander. You think about nothing in particular. You think about the snow falling outside, covering the grass, covering the road, covering the world. You think about the silence. You think about the peace. You are safe. You are warm. You are alone. You let your breathing slow down, matching the rhythm of the fire. In, out, in, out. You feel your eyelids getting heavy. You fight it for a moment, wanting to enjoy the feeling of the room, but the pull of sleep is too strong. You let your eyes close. You are drifting. You are floating. You are resting. The library fades away. The snow fades away. There's only the dark and the warm and the quiet. You are asleep. You wake gently from your doze in the library, feeling a stiffness in your limbs that calls for movement. So you stand up from the leather chair, stretching your arms above your head, feeling the satisfying pop of your shoulder joints and the release of tension in your back. You decide to leave the library and walk down the long hallway where the floorboard transition from the warm oak to cool, smooth slate stones that feel solid and grounding beneath your wool socks. The hallway is dimly lit by moonlight streaming through high, narrow windows, creating pools of silver light on a floor that you step through one by one like stones across a river. You enter the kitchen, a large rectangular room that is the heart of the house, warm and smelling faintly of dried herbs hanging from the wooden rafters above. The only light comes from the small yellow lamp over the stove and the moonlight filtering through the gingham curtains, lighting up the dust motes dancing slowly in the still air. You walk to the central counter, a massive slab of polished butcher block that is worn smooth and slightly concave in the center from years of use. You run your hand across the wood, feeling the grain and the history of the table. You decide to perform a simple task, a quiet meditation, a baking to settle your mind completely before bed. You reach for a large ceramic bowl from the open shelf, heavy and cool to the touch, placing it gently on the wood with a soft thud. You take a paper bag of flour, opening the top with a quiet crinkle that sounds loud in the silence. You scoop the white powder into a metal sifter, holding it over the bowl. You turn the handle of the sifter crank. Crank, crank. The flour falls like snow, mimicking the weather outside, a soft white mound piling up in the bowl, creating a miniature mountain. It is a quiet, dusty sound, a sound of softness. You add a pinch of salt, letting the crystals fall from your fingers. You add a pinch of sugar. You take a small glass jar of yeast, sprinkling the beige granules into a cup of warm water, watching them sink and dissolve, clouding the water. You wait. You watch the bubbles form, tiny signs of life activating in the warmth, rising to the surface with microscopic pops. You pour the yeasty water into the flour, mixing it with a sturdy wooden spoon. Scrape, mix, scrape, mix. The sound is rhythmic and soothing. The dough begins to form shaggy and sticky, pulling away from the sides of the bowl in strands. You dust the counter with more flour, creating a fine white mist that settles on the wood. You turn the dough out onto the counter, feeling its weight and its warmth. You begin to knead, pushing the heel of your hand into the soft mass, folding it over, turning it, and pushing again. Push, fold, turn. Push, fold, turn. It is a rhythm, a dance of hands and dough that requires no thought, only motion. You feel the texture change under your palms, becoming smooth and elastic, becoming alive. You work the dough for 10 minutes, losing track of time, focused only on the tactile sensation. Your breathing matches the rhythm of your hands. In, push. Out, turn. The kitchen is completely silent save for the soft thud of the dough on the wood and the steady ticking of the clock on the wall. Tick-tock, tick-tock. You shape the dough into a perfect round ball, smooth and tight like a pearl. You grease the bowl with a little butter, rubbing it around the sides with your fingers. You place the dough back in the bowl, covering it with a clean linen cloth. Now comes the waiting, the resting. You sit on a wooden stool near the stove, feeling the radiant heat from the pilot light warming your back. You watch the cloth covering the bowl. You imagine the dough rising slowly, expanding, filling the space with its potential. You listen to the wind outside whistling softly around the eave of the house, a lonely sound that makes the kitchen feel even safer. You stand up and walk to the pantry to get a jar of honey while you wait. The pantry shelves are lined with jars of preserved fruit, peaches and pears, and cherries glowing like amber and ruby jewels in the dim light. You run your hand over the cool glass jars, reading the handwritten labels from summers past. You see bags of rice and beans, sacks of potatoes, and onions, a storehouse of comfort and security. You walk back to the stove and check the dough. It has risen, doubling in size, a soft pillow of white undercloth. You punch it down gently, watching it deflate, hearing the soft sigh of escaping air. You shape it into a loaf and place it in a metal tin. You slide the tin into the oven and close the door with a solid click. You sit back down on the stool and wait again. The smell begins to fill the room, a rich yeasty aroma that is the smell of sustenance, the smell of home. It wraps around you like a warm blanket, comforting and primal. You watch the minute hand of the clock moving imperceptibly slow. You are not bored, you are at peace, you are present. The timer dings, a single soft chime. You open the oven and the heat rushes out to greet you, carrying the scent of baked bread. You take the loaf out using a thick towel, tapping the bottom to hear the hollow sound. That means it is done. Thump, thump. You place it on a wire rack to cool. The crust is golden brown and crackling softly as it contracts in the cooler air. You listen to the faint crackle, a tiny song of baking. You pour yourself a glass of cold milk from the refrigerator, the bottle heavy and cold. You cut a thick slice of the warm bread, steam rising from the white interior, curling into the air. You spread butter on it, watching it melt instantly into the pores of the bread, turning yellow and glistening. You take a bite, tasting the warmth, the salt, the yeast, the crunch of the crust. It is simple, it is perfect, it is enough. You finish the slice and brush the crumbs into your hand, depositing them in the sink. You wash the plate and the knife under warm running water, the sound of the faucet a gentle rush. You dry them and put them away. The kitchen is clean again. The work is done. You feel a deep satisfaction, a heaviness in your bones that calls for sleep. You turn off the stove light, leaving the kitchen in darkness, save for the moonlight on the floor. You walk out of the kitchen back into the hallway. You walk towards a staircase that leads to the bedrooms on the second floor. The runner on the stairs is soft velvet, under your feet, silencing your steps. You climb slowly, holding the smooth wooden banister. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. The house is sleeping around you, breathing with you. You reach the landing and walk down the corridor past the portraits on the walls, whose eyes seem to watch you kindly in the dark. You reach your bedroom door and open at the hinges, making no sound. The room is cool and fresh, smelling of lavender and clean linen. The curtains are drawn, but a sliver of moonlight cuts across the floor. You walk to the window and peek out through the gap in the curtains. The snow has stopped falling, and the clouds are parted, revealing a full bright moon that illuminates the white world below. The garden is a landscape of smooth white mounds and long dark shadows. It is perfectly still, perfectly silent. You let the curtain fall back into place, sealing out the light. You walk to the bed and turn down the heavy quilt. The sheets are crisp and white, inviting you in. You sit on the edge of the bed, taking off your socks, wiggling your toes in the cool air. You lie down, pulling the covers up to your chin. The mattress supports you, completely holding you up. You feel the warmth of the quilt settling over you. You close your eyes and you are back in the library, back in the kitchen, back in the snow. You drift on a river of silence. You are safe. You are warm. You are loved. The dream takes you now, drifting gently from the warmth of the bed into a landscape of soft, muted colors, where you find yourself walking along a quiet path in the heart of a winter forest. The snow here is deep and pristine, untrodden by any foot save yours, and yet you walk with a lightness that requires no effort, as if you are gliding over the surface. The trees tower above you, ancient pines and firs, their branches heavy, with white mounds of snow bowing low in a gesture of slumber. The air is crisp and cold, but you do not feel the chill, you only feel the freshness of it, the purity of oxygen entering your lungs. You can see your breath misting in the air before you, tiny clouds of warmth that vanish in the gray sky. There is no wind here in the shelter of the trees, only a profound silence that wraps around you like a heavy blanket. You hear the soft crunch of the snow beneath your boots, crunch, crunch, crunch. It is a satisfying sound, a sound of progress and grounding. You reach out a gloved hand to brush against the rough bark of a pine tree, feeling the texture through the wool. You smell the scent of pine needles and damp earth, a sharp, clean fragrance that clears your mind. You continue along the path, which winds gently through the woods, curving around massive boulders capped with snow and dipping into shallow hollows. You are following a trail of lanterns that have been hung on the trees, small iron cages holding flickering candles that cast a warm golden glow on the blue-white snow. The lights guide you forward one by one, leading you deeper into the peace of the forest. You feel a sense of anticipation, but no urgency. You are simply moving towards a destination of comfort. The path begins to widen, and the trees thin out, revealing a small clearing ahead. In the center of the clearing stands a quaint train station built of red brick and timber, looking like something from a storybook. It is illuminated by the soft glow of gas lamps, their flames dancing behind glass panes. A steam train sits idling on the tracks, a magnificent engine of black iron and polished brass breathing white clouds of steam into the night air. Chuff, chuff, chuff. The sound is rhythmic and slow mechanical heartbeat. You walk towards the train, the gravel of the platform crunching softly under your feet. You choose a seat by a large rectangular window and sink into it. The velvet is soft and warm against your back, holding you in a comfortable embrace. You feel the vibration of the engine, a gentle tremor that travels through the floor and into your legs, relaxing your muscles. The train gives a low, mournful whistle. Ho, ho. It is a sound of departure, a sound of leaving the world behind. The train begins to move slowly, at first the wheels turning with a heavy metallic clanking. Clank, clank, clank. You watch the station slide away past the window, the gas lamps blurring into streaks of gold. The train picks up speed, settling into a steady, hypnotic rhythm. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. It is the most soothing sound in the world, a lullaby of motion. You look out the window at the passing landscape. The forest rushes by a blur of dark trees and white snow. You see a frozen river winding alongside the tracks, its surface a ribbon of ice reflecting the moonlight. You see lonely farmhouses in the distance, their windows glowing with yellow light, tiny islands of warmth in the vast night. You wonder who lives there, what they're dreaming about. The train rocks gently side to side, accompanying swaying motion that mimics being cradled. Sway, sway, sway. You rest your head against the cool glass of the window, feeling the vibration against your temple. You watch the snowflakes hitting the glass. They land and melt instantly, turning into tiny streaks of water that run down the pane, wiggling and merging. You track the droplets racing each other to the bottom. The view outside changes as the train climbs higher into the mountains. The trees become sparse, replaced by jagged rock faces and sweeping vistas of snow-covered peaks. The moon hangs low in the sky, a giant orb of pearl white, illuminating the world with a ghostly radiance. You feel safe inside your moving metal shell, protected from the cold and the height. The conductor enters the car, a kind-faced man in a blue uniform with gold buttons. He does not speak, but smiles gently and places a silver tray on the table before you. On the tray is a porcelain pot of tea and a small plate of shortbread cookies. He nods and leaves, closing the door softly behind him. You pour a cup of tea, the steam rising in curling ribbons. It smells of chamomile and honey. You take a sip, feeling the warmth spread through your chest. You eat a cookie, the buttery crumbs melting on your tongue. It is a midnight feast, a moment of pure indulgence. You finish the tea and lean back in the seat, pulling a soft wool blanket over your legs. You close your eyes and listen to the train. The rhythm becomes the only thing in the world. Click-clack, click-clack. It is a mantra that clears your mind of all thoughts. You are not going anywhere, you are just being. You are traveling through the night, through the dream. The train enters a tunnel of sudden darkness, wrapping around the carriage. The sound changes, becoming louder and more echoing. Roar, roar, roar. Then you burst out the other side into a valley filled with mist. The mist swirls around a train, creating a sea of white. You feel like you are flying through the clouds. The train begins to slow down, the rhythm deepening and spacing out. Clack, clack, clack. You are approaching a stop. You look out the window and see a small town nestled in the valley, covered in snow. The streetlights are glowing halos in the mist. The train comes to a halt with the softest of brakes. PSSSHHH. You do not get off. You just watch the stillness of the town. You see a traffic light blinking yellow on a deserted corner. Blink, blink, blink. It is a peaceful scene, a snapshot of a sleeping world. The train begins to move again, gathering momentum, pulling you away from the town back into the wild. You feel a wave of heaviness pressing down on your eyelids. The rhythm of the wheels is pulling you down into sleep. Click-clack, click-clack. You let go of the tension in your shoulders, let go of the tension in your jaw. You sink deeper into the velvet seat. You are safe. You are warm. You are traveling to the land of Nod. The train is your cradle, the night is your blanket. You drift deeper and deeper, the sound of the wheels fading into a soft background hum. You are asleep, but you're also awake enough to enjoy the feeling of sleep. It is the twilight zone, the space between worlds. You float there suspended in comfort. The train carries you on through the mountains, through the forests, through the night. Endlessly moving, endlessly rocking, endlessly soothing. The train journey fades gently from your mind, dissolving like mist in the morning sun, and you find yourself now standing on the porch of a weathered shingle cottage perched on a bluff overlooking a gray and restless ocean. It is a rainy afternoon, the sky a heavy blanket of charcoal clouds that hang low over the water, merging with the sea at the horizon in a blur of rain and fog. You are sheltered here under the wide wooden eaves of the porch, protected from the elements, but close enough to feel the raw power of the weather. You are wrapped in a heavy cable-knit sweater that smells of wool and seesawed a garment that feels like a hug. You lean against the wooden railing, which is damp and cool under your hands, and watch the rain fall. It comes down in sheets, sweeping across the water in waves of texture. The sound is white noise, a constant static that washes away all other sounds, all other thoughts. You watch the waves rolling in from the deep ocean, long lines of gray water that rise up and crash against the jagged black rocks at the base of the cliff. Crash, roar, hiss. The white foam boils and churns, spreading out like lace over the dark stone before retreating back into the sea. It is a timeless cycle of rhythm that has continued for millions of years. You breathe in the air, which is thick with moisture and loaded with the scent of brine and seaweed and wet earth. It is a heavy, rich scent that fills your lungs and grounds you. You turn and walk towards the front door of the cottage, which is painted a cheerful, bright red, peeling slightly from the salt air. You push it open and step inside the sudden silence of the interior wrapping around you. The cottage is one large room, open to the rafters, warm and dry, and smelling of wood smoke and old books. A fire is burning in a small cast iron stove in the corner, radiating a fierce heat that dries the dampness from your clothes. You walk over to the stove and hold your hands out to the warmth, rubbing them together. You hear the rain drumming on the roof above, a louder, more percussive sound now that you are inside. Tap, 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 drum. It sounds like thousands of tiny fingers tapping on the shingles. You look around the room, which is filled with comfortable, cluttered furniture. There's a large table near the window covered in a half-finished jigsaw puzzle. You walk over to it and look at the pieces scattered on the wood. It is a picture of a garden, a riot of colors that contrasts with the gray day outside. You sit down in a wooden chair and pick up a piece. It is a piece of blue sky. You scan the puzzle looking for its place. You find a gap near the top and press the piece in. It fits with a satisfying soft snap. You pick up another piece, a fragment of a red rose. You look for the other red pieces, sorting them into a small pile. This is slow work, quiet work. You sort the blues, the greens, the reds. You lose yourself in the shapes and colors your mind, focusing on the tiny details, leaving no room for worry. You work on the puzzle for an hour, or maybe two. Time has no meaning here. The light outside begins to dim, turning from gray to a deep bruised purple as evening approaches. You stand up, stretching your back, and walk to the small kitchenette. You decide to make a pot of coffee, not to wake up, but for the comfort of the ritual. You grind the beans, a loud whir of the grinder shattering the silence for a moment before fading back to quiet. You smell the rich, dark aroma of the coffee. You pour the water into the machine and listen to it gurgle and hiss. You pour the coffee into a thick ceramic mug, clasping it with both hands to warm them. You walk to the large bay window that faces the sea. You sit on the cushioned window seat, tucking your legs up under you. You watch the lighthouse on the distant point begin to wake up. Its beam cuts through the gloom, a solid bar of light that sweeps across the water. Flash, sweep, dark. Flash, sweep, dark. You watch it come around again, and again a faithful guardian. You sip your coffee, tasting the bitterness and the heat. You watch the rain turning to sleet, hitting the window with a sharper sound. Tick, tick, tick. The glass is cold against your forehead. You feel a heavy drowsiness settling over you, a weight that pulls at your eyes. You finish your coffee and set the mug on the windowsill. You stand up and walk toward the back of the cottage, where a large brass bed stands covered in a patchwork quilt. You climb and, not bothering to change, just needing the comfort of the bed. The quilt is heavy, weighing you down. You listen to the storm outside, the wind howling softly around the chimney, the waves crashing on the rocks, the rain drumming on the roof. It is a symphony of sleep. You burrow deeper into the pillows. You are an island of warmth in a sea of cold. You let your muscles go slack. You let your jaw drop. You let your thoughts drift away like the fog. You are safe in the cottage. You are safe in the storm. You are safe in your sleep. The sound of the ocean becomes the sound of your breath, and like the tide out like the tide. Deep, slow, you drift down into the dark. The dream shifts again, dissolving the walls of the seaside cottage into a mist that reforms slowly into the wooden interior of a narrow canal boat gently bobbing on calm dark water. You are lying on a bunk built in the side of the boat, covered in a thick wool blanket that smells of lanolin and comfort. You can hear the water lapping against the hull just inches from your head, a gentle liquid sound that is the very definition of peace. Lap, lap, lap. You open your eyes and see the small round porthole above you, showing a circle of gray sky and the drooping branches of a willow tree trailing in the water. You sit up slowly, feeling the gentle rock of the boat a movement so subtle it is almost like the breathing of a living thing. You are traveling slowly down an ancient canal in the heart of the countryside, a waterway that has been forgotten by the rush of the modern world. You stand up and walk to the small galley kitchen, which is painted a cheerful cream and green. A small coal stove is burning in the corner, radiating a dry, intense heat that keeps the damp air at bay. You put a kettle on the stove and listen to the water begin to boil, a rising hiss that culminates in a soft whistle. You make a pot of tea and take it out to the small rear deck of the boat. The air outside is cool and damp, smelling of wet leaves and mud and wood smoke. The canal is a ribbon of glass stretching out before you, reflecting the gray sky and the green trees. You are moving at a walking pace, the engine chugging softly beneath the deck. Chug, chug, chug. It is a slow, steady rhythm that sets the pace for your thoughts. You steer the boat with a long wooden tiller, the varnish with smooth and cold under your hand. You pass under an old stone bridge, the brickwork covered in ivy and moss. The sound of the engine echoes briefly as you pass underneath a hollow booming sound before returning to the open air. Thrum, thrum. You see a family of swans gliding alongside the boat, their white feathers stark against the dark water. They look at you with indifferent eyes, masters of their domain. You toss a piece of crust from your pocket, and they dip their long necks to retrieve it with graceful precision. You continue on passing fields where cows are grazing in the mist, their breath forming clouds in the cool air. They watch you pass with slow, chewing motions, completely unbothered by time. You feel a deep connection to this slow pace of life, where the journey is measured in miles per day, not miles per hour. The rain begins to fall again, a soft drizzle that dimples the surface of the canal, creating thousands of tiny expanding rings. You pull up the hood of your oilskin coat, enjoying the sound of the rain on the fabric. Tap, tap, tap. It is a cozy feeling being bundled up against the weather. You approach a locked, the heavy wooden gates looming ahead like a fortress. You slow the boat down, gliding gently into the stone chamber. You step off onto the towpath, your boots crunching on the gravel. You push against the heavy wooden balance beam of the lock gate, feeling the resistance of the water. It opens slowly, the water rushing in to fill the chamber. Rush, gurgle, swirl. You watch the water level rise, lifting your boat up to the next level. It is a mechanical process, a feat of engineering from a simpler time. You close the gates and climb back onto the boat, continuing your journey. The afternoon wears on the light, fading into a soft twilight. The birds stop singing, settling down for the night. You moor the boat under the shelter of a large oak tree, driving the metal stakes into the soft bank with a mallet. Clink, clink. You tie the rope securely, feeling the rough hemp texture. The boat is secure. You go back inside the cabin, closing the doors against the night. You stoke the fire, adding a few lumps of coal. The flames leap up, casting dancing shadows on the painted wood walls. You cook a simple dinner of soup and bread, eating it slowly at the small fold-down table. The soup is hot and savory, warming you from the inside. You listen to the rain intensifying outside, turning into a steady downpour. The sound on the metal roof is loud, accompanying a drumbeat of nature. You clean your bowl and put it away. You sit in the small armchair by the fire, watching the flames. You feel the tiredness of the fresh air and the physical work settling into your muscles. It is a good tiredness, a earned tiredness. You pick up a book from the shelf and read a few pages, but your eyes are heavy. The words swim on the page. You close the book and turn off the lamp, leaving only the glow of the fire. You undress and climb back into bunk, pulling the blankets up high. You listen to the water lapping against the hull. Lap, lap, lap. You listen to the rain. Drum, drum, drum. You feel the gentle rocking of the boat. Rock, rock, rock. You are floating in a wooden shell on a ribbon of water. You are safe. You are warm. You are hidden from the world. The current of the canal seems to flow through your mind, carrying away your thoughts, carrying away your worries. You drift downstream into the dark. You drift into sleep. The boat holds you. The water holds you. The night holds you. You are asleep. The canal boat dissolves into the mist of your mind, and you find yourself standing now in the quiet living room of a high-rise apartment floating high above a sprawling city at night. It is a rainy Tuesday evening, and the world outside your floor-to-ceiling windows is a watercolor painting of smeared lights and dark shapes. You are separated from a noise and a rush by thick panes of double-glazed glass that turn the chaotic sounds of the city into a low, distant hum, a gentle vibration that is almost silence. Hum, hum, hum. You are wrapped in a soft cashmere robe that feels light and warm against your skin. You are holding a ceramic mug of herbal tea, the heat radiating into your palms, grounding you in the moment. You walk slowly to the window, your bare feet sinking into the thick plush pile of the cream-colored rug. Step, step, step. You press your forehead against the cool glass and look down. Far below you, the city moves in slow motion. You see the streets laid out in a grid of glowing orange sodium lights. You see the cars moving along the rain-slicked avenues, two rivers of light flowing in opposite directions. The headlights are a stream of white diamonds coming towards you. The taillights are a stream of red rubies flowing away. White, red, white, red. It is a mesmerizing flow, a circulation system of the night. You pick one car, a single pair of red lights, and follow it. You watch it stop at a traffic light, waiting patiently in the rain. You watch the light turn green. You watch it accelerate slowly and disappear around a corner. It is gone. You feel a sense of detachment standing up here in your glass tower. You are an observer, not a participant. You are safe in your sanctuary in the sky. Raindrops strike the window, hard driven by a gust of wind. Tap, tap, splash. They cling to the glass for a moment before succumbing to gravity and sliding down in long, wavering trails. You watch two drops merge into one, gaining speed and racing to the bottom sill. It is a simple drama that captures your attention completely. You turn away from the window and walk into the kitchen. The lights are dimmed low under the cabinets, casting a soft pool of illumination on the granite countertops. The refrigerator hums quietly, a steady domestic sound. You place your mug in the sink, the ceramic clicking softly against the stainless steel. You walk into the living room and sit on a large sectional sofa. It is upholstered in a soft gray fabric that feels like velvet. You sink into the cushions, letting the sofa hold you. You pick up a remote and turn on the gas fireplace. A row of blue flames flickers to life, dancing over a bed of white stones. There is no wood to burn, no ash to clean, just clean, instant warmth. You watch the blue flames flicker and dance. Flicker, dance, flicker, dance. You pick up a heavy coffee table book about architecture. You open it and turn the glossy pages slowly. You look at pictures of bridges and skyscrapers, of arches and domes. You are not reading the text, just absorbing the images of structure and stability. You feel the weight of the book on your lap, a comforting pressure. You close the book and set it aside. You lean your head back against the cushion and close your eyes. You listen to the sound of the rain intensifying outside. It comes in waves washing over the building. Whoosh, eight, whoosh, eight. You imagine the rain cleaning the city, washing away the dust, and the grime leaving everything fresh and new. You feel a heavy drowsiness settling in your limbs. Your arms feel heavy. Your legs feel heavy. You decide it is time for bed. You stand up, moving slowly through the dark apartment. You walk down the hallway to the bedroom. The boat is secure. You go back inside the cabin, closing the doors against the night. You stoke the fire, adding a few lumps of coal. The flames leap up, casting dancing shadows on the painted wood walls. You cook a simple dinner of soup and bread, eating it slowly at the small fold-down table. The soup is hot and savory, warming you from the inside. You listen to the rain intensifying outside, turning into a steady downpour. The sound on the metal roof is loud, accompanying a drumbeat of nature. You clean your bowl and put it away. You sit in the small armchair by the fire, watching the flames. You feel the tiredness of the fresh air and the physical work settling into your muscles. It is a good tiredness, an earned tiredness. You pick up a book on the shelf and read a few pages, but your eyes are heavy. The words swim on the page. You close the book and turn off the lamp, leaving only the glow of the fire. You undress and climb back into bunk, pulling the blankets up high. You listen to the water lapping against the hull. Lap, lap, lap. You listen to the rain. Drum, drum, drum. You feel the gentle rocking of the boat. Rock, rock, rock. You are floating in a wooden shell on a ribbon of water. You are safe. You are warm. You are hidden from the world. The current of the canal seems to flow through your mind, carrying away your thoughts, carrying away your worries. You drift downstream into the dark. You drift into sleep. The boat holds you. The water holds you. The night holds you. You are asleep. The canal boat dissolves into the mist of your mind, and you find yourself standing now in the quiet living room of a high-rise apartment floating high above a sprawling city at night. It is a rainy Tuesday evening, and the world outside your floor-to-ceiling windows is a watercolor painting of smeared lights and dark shapes. You are separated from a noise and a rush by thick panes of double-glazed glass that turn the chaotic sounds of the city into a low, distant hum, a gentle vibration that is almost silence. Hum, hum, hum. You are wrapped in a soft cashmere robe that feels light and warm against your skin. You are holding a ceramic mug of herbal tea, the heat radiating into your palms, grounding you in the moment. You walk slowly to the window, your bare feet sinking into the thick plush pile of the cream-colored rug. Step, step, step. You press your forehead against the cool glass and look down. Far below you, the city moves in slow motion. You see the streets laid out in a grid of glowing orange sodium lights. You see the cars moving along the rain-slicked avenues, two rivers of light flowing in opposite directions. The headlights are a stream of white diamonds coming towards you. The taillights are a stream of red rubies flowing away. White, red, white, red. It is a mesmerizing flow, a circulation system of the night. You pick one car, a single pair of red lights, and follow it. You watch it stop at a traffic light, waiting patiently in the rain. You watch the light turn green. You watch it accelerate slowly and disappear around a corner. It is gone. You feel a sense of detachment standing up here in your glass tower. You are an observer, not a participant. You are safe in your sanctuary in the sky. Raindrops strike the window, hard driven by a gust of wind. Tap, tap, splash. They cling to the glass for a moment before succumbing to gravity and sliding down in long, wavering trails. You watch two drops merge into one, gaining speed and racing to the bottom sill. It is a simple drama that captures your attention completely. You turn away from the window and walk into the kitchen. The lights are dimmed low under the cabinets, casting a soft pool of illumination on the granite countertops. The refrigerator hums quietly, a steady domestic sound. You place your mug in the sink, the ceramic clicking softly against the stainless steel. You walk into the living room and sit on a large sectional sofa. It is upholstered in a soft gray fabric that feels like velvet. You sink into the cushions, letting the sofa hold you. You pick up a remote and turn on the gas fireplace. A row of blue flames flickers to life, dancing over a bed of white stones. There is no wood to burn, no ash to clean, just clean, instant warmth. You watch the blue flames flicker and dance. Flicker, dance, flicker, dance. You pick up a heavy coffee table book about architecture. You open it and turn the glossy pages slowly. You look at pictures of bridges and skyscrapers, of arches and domes. You are not reading the text, just absorbing the images of structure and stability. You feel the weight of the book on your lap, a comforting pressure. You close the book and set it aside. You lean your head back against the cushion and close your eyes. You listen to the sound of the rain intensifying outside. It comes in waves washing over the building. Whoosh, eight, whoosh, eight. You imagine the rain cleaning the city, washing away the dust, and the grime leaving everything fresh and new. You feel a heavy drowsiness settling in your limbs. Your arms feel heavy. Your legs feel heavy. You decide it is time for bed. You stand up, moving slowly through the dark apartment. You walk down the hallway to the bedroom. The room is cool and dark, the curtains drawn, but not quite closed, allowing a single beam of city light to paint a stripe across the duvet. You walk to the bed and pull back the covers. The sheets are made of high thread count cotton, cool and smooth like water. You lie down and pull the duvet up to your shoulders. The pillow is soft and supportive, cradling your head. You lie on your back and look up at the ceiling, watching the shadows of the rain playing across the plaster. The city light filters through the rain on the window, creating a moving pattern of light and dark above you. It looks like ripples on a pond. You watch the ripples moving slowly across the ceiling. Ripple, ripple, ripple. It is hypnotic. You listen to the distant sound of a siren far away, rising and falling. It is not alarming. It is just a texture of the city, a reminder that life goes on while you rest. The sound fades away, leaving only the hum of the building. You feel the ventilation system breathing soft air into the room. You feel the building swaying ever so slightly in the wind of movement. So small you can only feel it with your inner ear. It rocks you gently. You let go of the day. You let go of the city. You are just a point of consciousness in the dark. You focus on your feet, telling them to sleep. You focus on your knees, telling them to sleep. You focus on your hands, your stomach, your chest, your face. Sleep, sleep, sleep. The city below is a galaxy of stars, but you are floating above it. You are drifting in the upper atmosphere of sleep. The hum of the city becomes the hum of your own blood in your ears. The rhythm of the rain becomes the rhythm of your breath. In, out, in, out. You sink deeper into the mattress. The walls of the room dissolve. The city dissolves. There's only the dark velvet of sleep. The city lights blur and fade away, replacing the hard edges of steel and glass with the soft organic curves of nature, as you find yourself standing inside a magnificent Victorian conservatory, a cathedral of glass and iron surrounded by a lush botanical garden. It is mid-afternoon, but the sky above the glass roof is a slate gray, heavy with rain clouds that filter the light into a soft, diffuse glow that touches every leaf and petal with a gentle luminescence. You're standing on a path of old brick, arranged in a herringbone pattern, the bricks worn smooth and mossy, and the cracks damp from the humidity of the space. The air inside is warm and thick, moist and heavy, smelling of wet potting soil and crushed green leaves and the sweet perfume of orchids. It is a tropical embrace that contrasts with the cold rain you can hear falling on the thousands of glass panes above you. Pit-pat, pit-pat, pit-pat. The sound is a constant overhead static of millions tiny impacts that create a protective shell of sound around you. You take a deep breath, inhaling the oxygen-rich air, feeling it expand your lungs and slow your heart rate. You begin to walk slowly down the central aisle of the greenhouse, the bricks solid and reassuring beneath your feet. To your left is a wall of ferns or fronds uncurling like fiddleheads of vibrant verdant green that seems to glow in the dim light. You reach out a hand and brush your fingers against the delicate lace of a fern leaf, feeling the soft texture. Rustle, rustle. You see drops of water clinging to the tips of the leaves like diamonds waiting to fall. You watch one drop grow heavy and detach, fall into the dark soil below with a silent impact. You pass a bank of orchids or alien flowers hanging in sprays of purple and white and spotted pink. They look like frozen butterflies. You stop to admire the intricate patterns on the petals, the symmetry of nature. You are the only person here, the sole tender of this indoor jungle. You feel a sense of responsibility and care. You pick up a metal watering can from a wooden bench, its surface dull and patinated with age. You walk to a stone basin filled with water and dip the can in. Gurgle, splash. The water is cool and clear. You lift the heavy can, balancing the weight, and walk to a thirsty peace lily. You tilt the spout and watch the water stream out in a silver arc, soaking into the dry earth. Swish, gurgle. The soil turns dark and rich as it absorbs the water. You can almost hear the plant drinking, the roots expanding. You move to the next plant and the next, performing this simple act of nurturing. It is a slow, methodical task that quiets the mind. You are not rushing to finish, you are just watering. You are just walking. You come to a small circular pond in the center of the conservatory. The water is dark and still covered in large round lily pads. You see a golden koi fish swimming lazily near the surface, its scales catching the faint light. It moves with a flick of its tail, gliding through the water without effort. You stand at the edge of the pond and watch the fish. You watch the reflections of the iron rafters on the water. You listen to the fountain in the center, a stone cherub pouring water from a jug. Trickle, splash, trickle, splash. It is a musical sound, a melody of water. You walk past the pond, entering the tropical fruit section. You see lemons hanging heavy and yellow from a small tree. You see oranges bright and round. You smell the citrus oils in the air, a sharp, clean scent that cuts through the earthiness. You reach up and touch a lemon, feeling the bumpy texture of the rind. You do not pick it, you just acknowledge it. You continue your walk, reaching the back of the conservatory where the air is cooler and the plants are desert succulents. You see rows of cacti with their protective spines. You see aloe vera plants with their thick, fleshy leaves. You admire their resilience, their ability to store water, to survive. You feel a kinship with their quiet strength. The rain on the roof intensifies, turning into a downpour. The sound becomes a roar, a steady drumming that fills the space. You feel even safer, now protected by the glass shield. You walk to a small nook in the corner of the greenhouse where a potting shed has been built. It is a small wooden structure filled with terracotta pots and bags of soil and gardening tools. You step inside, the smell of cedar wood mixing with the smell of earth. You sit down in an old wicker chair that creaks softly under your weight. Creak, creak. There's a small wooden table beside you with a thermos and a mug. You pour yourself a cup of hot herbal tea, watching the steam rise and mix with the humid air. You wrap your hands around the warm mug. You look out through the open door of the shed, watching the rain wash over the glass roof above. You watch the water streaming down the panes in sheets, blurring the view of the trees outside. You feel a heavy wave of sleepiness washing over you, triggered by the warmth and the sound of rain. Your eyelids feel heavy. Your shoulders drop. You lean back in a wicker chair, finding a comfortable position. You rest your head against the high back of the chair. You listen to the rain. Drum, drum, drum. You listen to the fountain. Trickle, splash. You listen to your own breathing. In, out, in, out. The green world around you seems to vibrate with life with a slow, slow pulse. You are part of that pulse. You are a plant resting in the rain. You are a stone resting in the moss. You are nothing. You are everything. You let go of the watering, can let go of the plants, let go of the day. You sink deeper into the chair. The smell of the earth grounds you. The sound of the rain lulls you. You drift away into a green dream, a dream of leaves and water and quiet growth. You are safe in the glass house. You are safe in the rain. You are asleep. The dream dissolves the green leaves of conservatory, fading into the white swirling snow of a quiet village street at night, where the gas lamps cast warm pools of yellow light on the cobblestones. You are walking slowly down the center of the lane, your boots crunching softly on the fresh snow, which sparkles like diamond dust in the lamplight. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The village is asleep, the windows of the cottages dark and shuttered against the cold. You are the only soul awake, the guardian of the silence. The air is cold and crisp, smelling of wood smoke from the chimneys and the clean metallic scent of the snow. You feel the cold nipping at your nose and cheeks, a refreshing sensation that makes you appreciate the heavy wool coat you are wearing. You put your hands deep into your pockets, feeling the warmth of the lining. You walk past the bakery where the ovens are cold, past the post office, past the church with its tall steeple pointing to the stars. You stop in front of a small shop with a bow window displaying old books and maps. The sign above the door reads The Old Bindery. A faint golden light glows from the back of the shop, inviting you in. You push open a heavy wooden door, which swings inward with a soft creak. Creak, thud. A bell above the door chimes once a clear silver note that hangs in the air. Ting, You step inside and close the door, shutting out the wind and the snow. The silence of the shop wraps around you instantly. The air is warm and smells of old paper and leather and glue and dust. It is a dry, scaly smell, a smell of patience and preservation. You walk across the creaky floorboards to the workbench at the back of the room. A fire is burning in the small grate, casting a flickering light on the tools arranged neatly on the wall. You take off your coat and hang it on a peg. You sit down on a wooden stool at the bench. You are here to work on a book, to restore an old volume that has seen better days. You pick up a stack of paper sheets that need be folded. You take the first sheet and fold it in half, carefully aligning the corners. You run a bone folder along the crease, making it sharp and crisp. Swish crease. You take the next sheet and do the same. Fold, swish crease. It is a repetitive motion, a meditation of the hands. You fold 10 sheets, then 20, then 30. You stack them in a neat pile, the edges perfectly aligned. You are creating order out of chaos. You take a needle and thread a long piece of wax linen thread through the eye. You begin to sew the signatures together, pushing the needle through the paper, pulling the thread tight. Push, pull tight. Push, pull tight. The sound of the thread pulling through the paper is a soft, rasping sound. Rasp, rasp. You focus entirely on the rhythm of the sewing. In, out. The world outside does not exist. There is only the needle, the thread, and the paper. You work for what feels like hours, but time has no meaning here. The stack of sewn pages grows thicker, a solid block of text. You take a piece of leather for the cover, measuring it against the book block. You cut the leather with a sharp knife, the blade, slicing through the hide with a whisper. Slice, slice. You apply paste of the leather, using a thick brush, spreading it evenly. Slap, swish, slap, swish. The smell of the paste is strong and sweet. You wrap the leather around the book, smoothing it down with your hands, working out the air bubbles. Rub, smooth, rub, smooth. You feel the texture of the leather grain under your fingertips. You press the book in a heavy iron press, turning the large wheel to tighten it. Squeak, clank, squeak, clank. You feel the pressure engaging, holding the book tight. You wipe your hands on your apron. The work is done. The book is safe. You stand up from the stool, stretching your back. You walk over to a large velvet armchair near the fire. It looks inviting and soft. You sit down, sinking deep into the cushions, which smell of old pipe tobacco and comfort. You rest your feet on the fender of the fireplace, warming your toes. You watch the flames dying down to glowing embers. You listen to the wind rattling the window pane softly. Rattle, rattle. You feel a profound sense of accomplishment. You have saved a book. You have preserved a story. You let your eyes close, the lids feeling heavy and thick. You listen to the ticking of the clock on the mantelpiece. Tick-tock, tick-tock. It slows down, matching the beating of your heart. You feel your breathing deepen. In, out, in, out. The warmth of the fire seeps into your bones. The smell of the books fills your mind. You are drifting away from a bindery. You are drifting away from the village. You are floating in a sea of paper and ink. You are safe. You are warm. You are asleep. The smell of old books and leather paste fades away, replaced by the clean mineral scent of damp stone, and the sound of dripping water echoing in a vast cavern. You are standing on the shore of a subterranean lake, deep within the earth, a place of eternal stillness and shadow. The only light comes from the bioluminescent fungi that grow in the cavern walls, glowing with a soft, pulsing blue light that reflects on the black mirror surface of the lake. Glow, pulse, glow, pulse. You are wrapped in a heavy cloak, made of dark wool, that keeps you warm in the cool cave air. You stand perfectly still, listening to the silence of the deep earth. It is a heavy silence, a silence that is weight and texture. You hear a drop of water falling from a stalactite high above. Drip, splash. The sound echoes for seconds, ringing like a tiny bell before fading away. You step into a small wooden boat that is tied to a stone pillar. The boat rocks gently as you settle into the seat. You untie the rope and push off on the shore with an oar. Splash, glide. The boat moves silently across the water, leaving a faint V-shaped wake that disturbs the reflections of the blue lights. You row slowly, the oars dipping into the water with a rhythmic liquid sound. Dip, pull, lift, dip, pull, lift. You are traveling deeper into the cave, moving towards a destination that you feel rather than see. You pass towering rock formations that look like frozen waterfalls and giant pillars that hold up the roof of the world. You marvel at the time it took to create these shapes, drop by drop, century by century. You feel a sense of insignificance, but in a comforting way. Your worries are fleeting compared to the age of these stones. You stop rowing and let the boat drift. You lie back in the boat, looking up at the cavern ceiling, which is studded with sparkling crystals that look like stars in a night sky. You are floating in an underground universe. You close your eyes and listen to the water lapping against the hull. Lap, lap, lap. You feel the gentle movement of the boat, rocking you like a cradle. Rock, rock, rock. You feel the cool air on your face, refreshing and clean. You let your mind drift with the boat. You float past the crystal stars, past the stone giants, past the glowing blue walls. You are traveling on the river of sleep. The current carries you gently, guiding you into the dark. You feel your body getting heavy, sinking into the wood of the boat. Your breathing slows down, becoming deep and rhythmic. In, out, in, out. You are safe in the dark. You are safe in the earth. You are safe in your sleep. The boat bumps gently against the soft, sandy shore. Thud. You do not move. You stay in the boat, wrapped in your cloak, wrapped in the silence. You are home. You are asleep. The cool, damp air of the cavern warms rapidly, turning into dry, dusty heat of a sun-drenched pottery studio, located in a quiet valley, where the afternoon sun streams through large skylights, illuminating millions of dust motes dancing in the air. You are wearing a heavy canvas apron covered in smears of dried gray, clay a testament to the work of the day. The room is lined with wooden shelves filled with rows of drying bowls and mugs, their surfaces matte and pale, waiting for the fire. You walk to your potter's wheel, a heavy kick wheel made of iron, and which sitting in the corner. You sit down on the wooden bench, adjusting your position until you are centered. You place a ball of soft gray clay onto the center of the wheel head, throwing it down with a solid thud. Smack! You place your foot on the heavy flywheel at the base and give a strong kick, pushing it away from you. Kick, push, The wheel begins to spin, gaining momentum with every kick until it is a blur of motion. Whir, whir, whir. The sound is a low, steady hum that vibrates through the floor and into your body. You wet your hands in a bucket of warm water, the liquid milky with clay slip. You lean forward, bracing your elbows on your thighs, and cup the spinning clay with your wet hands. The clay is cool and smooth, slipping under your palms. You apply pressure, squeezing the clay, forcing it into the center of the wheel. Squeeze center, squeeze center. It fights you for a moment, wobbling slightly before surrendering to your strength and becoming perfectly still and centered, a sleeping cone of mud. You press your thumbs into the center, opening a hole deep into the heart of the clay. You pull the clay out towards you, open the floor of the pot. Open, pull. The wheel slows down, so you get another kick, keeping the rhythm alive. Kick, spin, kick, spin. You place one hand inside the pot and one hand outside, pinching the clay gently between your fingers. You begin to pull up, lifting your hands slowly as the wheel turns. You watch the walls of the pot rise up, growing taller and thinner with every revolution. Rise, turn, rise, turn. It is magic to watch the formless mud become a vessel. You focus entirely on the rim of the pot, watching it spin perfectly true, a circle of stillness in motion. You pick up a small wooden rib and smooth the outside of the pot, scraping away the excess slurry. Scrape, smooth, scrape, smooth. The surface becomes clean and taut. You take a wire cutter, holding it taut between your hands. You slide it under the pot, cutting it free from the wheel. Slice. You lift the pot gently and place it on a wooden board to dry. You repeat the process with another ball of clay. Kick, center, open, pull. It is a meditation of the hands, a cycle of creation that requires no thought, only feeling. You make 10 bowls, placing them in a neat row. You watch the clay drying, turning from dark gray to light gray. The sun moves across the floor, lengthening the shadows. The wheel slows down, finally coming to a stop. Silence returns to the room. You stand up and walk to the sink. You wash your hands of water, turning gray as it rinses away the earth. You dry your hands on a rough towel. You walk to an old armchair in the corner of the studio, covered in a dusty sheet. You sit down, sinking into the springs. You watch the dust motes still dancing in the light. They move slower, now drifting lazily. You feel the heaviness in your arms, the good fatigue of making things. You close your eyes and see the spinning wheel behind your eyelids. Spin, spin, spin. You feel the cool clay. You hear the hum. You drift away from the studio. You drift into the clay. You are centered. You are still. You are asleep. The smell of the drying clay fades and is replaced by the fresh scent of pine needles and still water as you find yourself floating in a small wooden rowboat in the middle of a calm lake on a lazy summer afternoon. The sun is warm on your face, a gentle golden heat that penetrates your clothes and relaxes your muscles, turning your limbs into heavy, comfortable weights. You're wearing a wide-brimmed hat that casts a cool shadow over your eyes, allowing you to keep them open just a crack to watch the sparkling water. The lake is a mirror reflecting the blue sky and the white puffy clouds that drift by so slowly they seem motionless. You're holding a fishing rod, but you are not really fishing, you are just holding it. The line stretches out into the water, disappearing into the deep green. A red and white bobber floats on the surface, a tiny buoy of bright color. In the vastness of the water, you watch the bobber. It sits perfectly still. You wait. You breathe. In, out, in, out. You hear the water lapping gently against the side of the boat, a soft, rhythmic slapping sound. Lap, slap, lap, slap. It is the heartbeat of the lake. You hear the faint buzz of a dragonfly hovering near the boat, its wings shimmering like cellophane in the sunlight. Buzz, buzz, buzz. It lands on the tip of your rod, resting there for a moment before darting away. You feel the boat rock ever so slightly, a gentle swaying motion caused by a phantom breeze. Rock, rock, rock. It feels like being in a cradle. You lean back against the wooden seat, stretching your legs out, resting your feet on the warm floorboards. You are completely alone here in the center of the lake. The shore is a distant line of green trees. There are no other boats, no other people, just you and the water and the sky. You decide to reel in the line just to have something to do. You turn the handle of the reel slowly. Click, click, click. The mechanical sound is satisfying and precise. You lift the line from the water, the wet string dripping. You cast it out again, swinging the rod gently. Whish, plop. The bobber lands with a small splash, sending out concentric rings of ripples that widen and spread across the surface. You watch the ripples moving outward, distorting the reflection of the clouds. You watch them fade until the water is glass again. You settle back into the waiting. You watch the bobber. It bobs once then stops. Bob, stop. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the silence. It is not empty silence. It is full of the sounds of summer, the distant call of a loon, the rustle of the wind in the trees on the shore, the hum of insects. You feel the sun warming your eyelids, creating a reddish glow behind your closed eyes. You feel the gentle drift of the boat as it rotates slowly in the current. You are spinning imperceptibly with the earth. You feel a heavy drowsiness washing over you. The fishing rod feels heavy in your hand. You rest it against the side of the boat. You slide down from the seat to lie in the bottom of the boat, using a life jacket as a pillow. The wood is warm beneath you. You look up at the sky. It is a deep, endless blue. You watch a single white cloud drifting across your field of vision. It changes shape, slowly morphing from a sheep to a mountain to a wisp of smoke. You watch it dissolve into nothing. You are dissolving too, melting into the boat, melting into the lake. You are liquid. You are heavy. You are at peace. The water cradles you. The sun holds you. You drift on the surface asleep. You are safe. You are warm. You are asleep. The warm sun and the gentle rocking of the boat fade away, replaced by the rhythmic ticking of 1,000 mechanical hearts, as you find yourself sitting at a workbench in an old clockmaker's shop tucked away in a quiet cobblestone alley. The shop is dimly lit by a single green-shaded banker's lamp that casts a pool of warm light onto the wooden surface of the desk, while the rest of the room is filled with shadows and the shapes of tall grandfather clocks standing like sentinels along the walls. The air is thick and still smelling of clock oil and brass polish, and old mahogany dusts a scent that is precise and ancient. You listen to the sound of the room, which is a chaotic yet soothing symphony of time. Tick-tock, tick, tick-tock-tock. The clocks are not synchronized, they be at their own pace, some fast and urgent, others slow and heavy, creating a wash of sound that wraps around you like a texture blanket. You are wearing a leather apron and a jeweler's loop attached to your glasses, magnifying your vision to see the tiny world of gears and springs. You are holding a small brass pocket watch in your hands, its case worn smooth by years of use. You carefully pry open the back with a small knife. Pop. The mechanism is revealed, a golden city of wheels and levers all moving in perfect harmony. You pick up a pair of fine tweezers, their tips sharp as needles. You dip a tiny brush into a bottle of cleaning fluid. You begin to clean the gears, touching the brush gently to the teeth of the smallest wheel. Brush, brush, brush. You watch the grime dissolve, revealing the shining metal beneath. It is satisfying work, microscopic work. You remove a tiny screw, placing it on a velvet tray. It is smaller than a grain of rice. You hold your breath to keep your hands steady. You remove a gear and dip it in an oil bath. You watch it sink to the bottom of the glass jar. You take it out and dry it on a lint-free cloth. You put the gear back in its place, fitting the pivot into the jewel bearing. Click. It fits perfectly. You take a key and insert it into the winding hole. You turn the key slowly, feeling the tension of the mainspring building up. Ratchet, ratchet, ratchet. The sound is crisp and metallic. The watch begins to tick again, a strong, healthy heartbeat. Tick, tick, tick. You smile at the resurrection of the machine. You set the watch down on the velvet pad and look up at the wall. It is covered in cuckoo clocks and wall clocks of every shape and size. The hour strikes. One clock begins to chime. Bong, bong. Then another. Ding, ding. Then a cuckoo bird pops out. Cuckoo, cuckoo. It is a chorus of bells and whistles, a celebration of the hour. You just sit and listen, letting the sound wash over you. The chimes fade away one by one, leaving only the steady ticking. You feel the weight of the afternoon settling in the shop. The light from the window is fading, the shadows lengthening. You pick up a soft cloth and begin to polish the wooden case of a mantel clock. Rub, rub, rub. The wood warms under your hand, releasing the scent of beeswax. You trace the carvings of leaves and vines. You are not rushing. You have all the time in the world. You are the keeper of time. You stand up and stretch your back, hearing the vertebrae pop. You walk to the front door and flip the sign to closed. You lock the door with a heavy click. You walk to the back of the shop, where a worn leather armchair sits in the corner. You sit down, the leather creaking softly. You rest your head back. You close your eyes. You listen to the ticking. Tick-tock, tick-tock. It becomes a lullaby. It dictates the rhythm of your heart. It dictates the rhythm of your breath. In tick, out, tock. In tick, out, tock. You feel your body getting heavy, sinking into the chair. The shop dissolves into a swirl of brass and wood. You are floating in the river of time. You are safe among the gears. You are safe in the shop. You are asleep. The ticking of the clocks fades gently into the distance, replaced by the rhythmic creaking of wicker, as you find yourself standing in the basket of a large hot air balloon floating silently over a patchwork quilt of green fields at dawn. You are wrapped in a thick sheepskin coat that protects you from the chill of the upper atmosphere, while the heat from the burner above warms the top of your head like a personal sun. You hold onto the suede rim of the basket, feeling the texture of the woven willow beneath your fingers. Creak, creak, creak. It is a comforting organic sound that speaks of flexibility and strength. You look up into the cavernous interior of the balloon, which is a kaleidoscope of colored silk panels in shades of blue and gold and crimson, swelling with hot air against the pale morning sky. You reach up and pull the blast valve. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A tongue of orange flame shoots up into the envelope, a roar of power that shatters the silence for a few seconds before fading back into absolute quiet. The balloon rises slightly in response to a gentle lift that you feel in your stomach. You look down over the edge of the basket. The world below is a miniature toy set. You see farmhouse roofs glistening with dew. You see tiny cows grazing in the meadows looking like plastic figurines. You see a river winding through the valley like a ribbon of silver foil reflecting the rising sun. You are moving with the wind, so there is no wind. You are in a bubble of stillness, traveling at the exact speed of the air. It is the purest form of flight. You float over a small forest of trees, looking like broccoli florets from this height. You drift lower, skimming the treetops. You reach out and brush your hand against the very top leaves of an oak tree, collecting a handful of moisture. Swish, rustle. You drift over a village, the church clock, striking 6, the sound rising up to you thin and clear. Dong, dong, dong. You see a dog running down a lane chasing a phantom scent. You feel a sense of detachment, looking down at the sleeping world. You are a cloud. You are a bird. You are free. The sun clears the horizon, flooding the landscape with long shadows and golden light. The colors below become vibrant, the greens greener, the reds redder. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face mixing with the cool air. You pull the valve again. Whoosh, whoosh. The flame warms you. You watch a flock of geese flying in AV formation below you. You are higher than the birds. You watch them beat their wings in unison. Flap, flap, flap. You follow the course of the river, drifting towards a large calm lake. The balloon casts a perfect shadow on the water, a dark circle moving silently across the surface. You watch the shadow traverse the lake. You check the altimeter on the instrument panel. You are at 1,000 feet. You are steady. You take a thermos from the corner of the basket and pour a cup of coffee. You sip it slowly, watching the steam drift away. It is the best cup of coffee you have ever tasted, drank in the highest cafe in the world. You feel a heavy peacefulness settling over you. The silence is profound. It is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of peace. You lean against the corner of the basket, the wicker supporting you. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling the gentle rotation of the balloon. You are spinning slowly, very slowly. You open your eyes and you are facing a different direction, looking back at the mountains you came from. You drift for an hour, watching the world wake up. You see cars start to move on the roads, tiny beetles crawling along. You see smoke rising from chimneys. You decide it is time to land. You look for a large flat field. You see one ahead, green and inviting. You pull the vent line, releasing some hot air. The balloon begins to descend a slow, controlled sink. You watch the ground coming up to meet you. The trees get bigger. The cows get bigger. You brace yourself, holding the handles. The basket touches the grass with a soft bump. Bump. It drags for a few feet, then stops. Drag. Stop. The envelope deflates slowly, settling onto grass like a tired giant. Sigh, rustle. You climb out of the basket onto the firm ground. You smell the crushed grass and the damp earth. You stand there for a moment, looking up at the sky where you just were. You feel heavy now, grounded by gravity. You feel tired, a good, honest tiredness. You walk toward the edge of the field where a gate leads to a small lane. You walk down the lane, the hedgerows high. On either side, you are walking back to the world, but you carry the silence of the sky with you. You find a spot under a large oak tree and sit down, leaning your back against the trunk. You pull your coat tight around you. You close your eyes. You feel the grass beneath you. You feel the bark behind you. You are back on earth. You are safe. You are asleep. The dream under the oak tree fades softly, dissolving into the smell of raw fleece and lanolin as you find yourself sitting on a wooden stool in the corner of a small stone cottage devoted to the ancient art of spinning wool. The room is illuminated by the gray light of a cloudy afternoon filtering through thick, bubbly glass windows, and by the warm orange glow of a peat fire burning in a hearth, which fills the room with a rich, earthy scent. You are surrounded by baskets of wool in every natural shade imaginable: creamy white and soft gray and deep chocolate brown and charcoal black piled high, like fluffy clouds brought down to earth. You pick up 2 wooden hand cards, which look like large hairbrushes with wire teeth. You take a handful of raw wash wool, a tangle of white fibers, and place it on one card. You begin to card the wool, brushing one paddle against the other to align the fibers. Scritch, scratch, scritch, scratch. The sound is dry and rhythmic, a gentle abrasion that smooths the chaos into order. You work slowly and methodically, your arms moving in a steady back and forth motion. You watch the wool transform from a messy clump into a soft, airy rollag ready for spinning. You make a pile of these soft rolls, stacking them neatly in a wicker basket. You feel the grease of the natural lanolin on your fingers, making your skin soft and smooth. You set the cards down and turn to the spinning wheel that stand before you. It is a beautiful piece of craftsmanship made of dark polished cherry wood with a large drive wheel and a delicately turned flyer. You sit down at the wheel, placing your foot on the treadle. You take a rollag of wool and attach it to the leader yarn. You begin to treadle, pressing your foot down and letting it come up. Thump, thump, thump. The wheel begins to turn a heavy wooden blur. You feed the wool into the orifice, drafting it out with your fingers, pinching and releasing, pinching and releasing. Pinch, slide, pinch, slide. The wool twists magically into a strong, thin thread. You listen to the sound of the wheel. Whir, click, whir, click. It is a hypnotic mechanical song, a hum that vibrates in the air. You watch the bobbin fill up the single thread, winding on layer by layer. Round and round it goes. You fall into a trance state, your hands knowing exactly what to do without your mind needing to interfere. You spin for hours, the pile of rollags disappearing, and the bobbin growing fat with yarn. The light in the room changes as the sun sets outside, the gray turning to blue, and the firelight becoming the dominant source of illumination. Shadows dance on the stone walls. You stop the wheel and break the thread. You take the full bobbin off and replace it with an empty one. You stand up to stretch, walking over to the large floor loom that dominates the center of the room. It is warped with a dark gray wool ready for weaving. You sit on the bench, which is polished smooth by generations of weavers. You pick up the shuttle, a smooth boat-shaped piece of wood holding a bobbin of white yarn. You press the treadle with your foot, raising the harness to create the shed. Clunk. The threads separate, creating a tunnel. You throw the shuttle through the shed, watching it slide effortlessly across the warp. Whoosh! You catch it on the other side. You pull the beater bar towards you, packing the weft thread tight against the previous row. Thwack! It is a satisfying solid sound. Clunk, whoosh, thwack. Clunk, whoosh, thwack. You establish a rhythm, a dance of feet and hands. You watch the fabric growing inch by inch, a herringbone pattern of gray and white emerging from the loom. You are weaving a blanket, a cover for sleep. You weave a foot, then 2 feet. The work is slow and meditative. You listen to the click of the heddles, the slide of the shuttle, the beat of the wood. You feel the texture of the wool under your fingers, rough yet soft. You stop weaving and rest your hands on the loom. You look at the cloth you have made. It is perfect in its imperfection, warmth made visible. You feel a wave of exhaustion washing over you, a heaviness that starts in your shoulders and moves down your spine. You climb off the bench and walk to a large pile of finished blankets stacked in the corner. You pull a few down, creating a soft nest on the floor near the fire. You lie down on the wool. It is soft and yielding, supporting your body completely. You pull a heavy woven throw over yourself. It smells of the sheep and the peat smoke. You close your eyes. You hear the crackle of the fire. Pop, hiss. You hear the wind sighing outside the stone walls. You feel the residual vibration of the spinning wheel in your foot. You drift away from the cottage. You drift into the weave. You are a thread in the great blanket of sleep. You are interlaced. You are held. You are asleep. The smell of the wool and the peat fire dissolves into the faint, acrid scent of acetic acid and the hum of a ventilation fan as you find yourself standing in the utter stillness of a photographic darkroom. The room is pitch black save for the amber glow of a safe light mounted on the wall, which casts a warm, nostalgic hue over the stainless steel sinks and the rows of chemical trays. You are wearing a heavy rubber apron that protects you from the fluids, and you feel the cool, smooth surface of the linoleum floor beneath your shoes. You are alone in this red-lit sanctuary of place where time is measured in seconds and minutes rather than hours. You are standing at the enlarger, a tall metal instrument that looks like a microscope. You place a negative in the carrier, a strip of celluloid that holds a captured moment of time. You slide it in. Click. You adjust the focus, turning the knob slowly until the grain is sharp. Twist, twist. You place a sheet of white photo paper on the easel. You press the timer button. The enlarger light turns on, exposing the paper for exactly 12 seconds. Click. The light goes off, returning the room to its red slumber. You pick up the paper, which looks blank, and walk to the wet side of the room. You slide the paper into the first tray filled with developer fluid. You rock the tray, gently agitating the liquid to ensure even coverage. Swish, 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 swish. You watch the paper, intently waiting for the magic to happen. Slowly, shadows begin to emerge from the white void. First the deepest blacks, then the grays, then the subtle highlights. An image forms a landscape of trees and fog, appearing like a ghost from the chemical bath. It is a slow miracle. You lift the print with a pair of bamboo tongs, allowing the excess liquid to drip back into the tray. Drip, drip, drip. You move it to the stop bath, the liquid smelling sharp like vinegar. You drop it in and rock the tray again, stopping the development process instantly. Swish, swish. You move it to the fix of the liquid that makes the image permanent. You let it soak. You listen to the sound of the water running in the print washer, a continuous gurgle that is the background music of the darkroom. Gurgle, splash, gurgle. You feel a deep sense of isolation here, cut off from the world outside. There are no phones, no voices, no sun, just the red light and the chemistry. You take the print out of the fixer and place it in the wash bath. You watch the water flowing over the surface, cleaning away the chemicals. You wash your hands, drying them on a towel. You walk over to a high stool and sit down, resting your legs. You watch the second hand of the wall clock sweeping around the dial. Tick, tick, tick. It glows in the dark, a green circle in the red gloom. You are waiting for the wash cycle to finish. You are practicing the art of patience. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the fan. Hum, hum. It is a white noise that blocks out thoughts. You feel the darkness pressing against your eyelids, a heavy, comforting weight. You imagine the molecules of silver on the paper locking into place. You imagine the water cleaning the paper. You open your eyes and stand up, moving slowly in the dim light. You take the print out of the wash and squeegee the water off. Squeak, swish. You hang it on a line to dry, clipping it with a wooden clothespin. You look at the row of drying prints hanging like wet flags. They are memories frozen in silver. You turn off the water, the sudden silence ringing in your ears. Drip, drip. You turn off the safe light, plunging the room into total darkness. You stand there for a moment in the void. You are not afraid. You are comfortable. You feel the space around you. You find the door handle by touch and open it, stepping out into a dimly lit hallway. The air is fresh and cool. You walk down the hall to a bedroom that is waiting for you. You are tired from the standing, tired from the focus. You lie down on a bed that is soft and welcoming. You pull the heavy duvet up. You smell the faint trace of the darkroom chemicals on your hands, a scent of creation. You close your eyes. You see the red light behind your eyelids. You see the images forming in the trays. You drift into the developer. You drift into the dark. You are developed. You are fixed. You are asleep. The chemical scent of the darkroom fades away, replaced by the rich, sweet aroma of warm beeswax and honey, as you find yourself standing in the stone flag room, a traditional candle maker's workshop. The room is warm and humid, heated by the large copper vats of melted wax that stand in the center of the floor like golden cauldrons. The air is thick with the scent of the hive, a comforting organic smell that coats the back of your throat. You are wearing a heavy canvas apron stained with droplets of hardened wax. You stand before a large wooden rack called a dipping frame, from which hang dozens of long white cotton wicks weighted at the bottom. You are alone in the shop, the only sound the soft bubbling of the wax and the wind blowing gently against the wooden shutters. Bubble, bubble, bubble. You grasp the handle of the dipping frame, feeling the smooth wood worn down by years of hands. You lift the frame carefully, the wicks dangling freely. You lower the frame slowly into the vat of hot wax. Dip. The wicks disappear into the golden liquid. You hold them there for a second, letting the wax soak into the cotton. You lift the frame slowly, pulling the wicks out. Lift. They emerge coated in a thin layer of hot wax, dripping softly back into the vat. Drip, drip, drip. You hang the frame on the cooling rack, letting the wax harden in the cool air of the room. You walk to the next frame and repeat the process. Lift, dip, hold, lift. It is a cycle of infinite patience. You cannot rush the wax. If you dip too fast, the candles will be lumpy. If you dip too slow, they will melt. You must find the perfect rhythm. You move from vat to vat, dipping frame after frame. You watch the candles growing slowly, layer by layer. They start as strings and become thin tapers and thicken into sturdy pillars. You lose yourself in the repetition. Dip, lift, cool. Dip, lift, cool. You watch the golden liquid turning into a solid, pale yellow solid as it cools. The color of sunlight trapped in wax. You walk to the window and open the shutter just a crack to lend some fresh air. The cool night air rushes in, mixing with the warm scent of the wax. You look out at the moon rising over the trees. You close the shutter and return to the work. You check the temperature of the wax with a long glass thermometer. It is perfect. You stir the wax gently with a wooden paddle, creating a slow whirlpool in the vat. Swirl, swirl. The motion is hypnotic. You dip the last frame for the final time. The candles are finished smooth and straight and smelling of summer fields. You hang the frame up to cure. You turn off the heat under the vats to bubbling, slowing down to a stop. The silence in the room deepens. You untie your apron and hang it on a peg. You feel the heat of the room radiating from the stone walls. You walk to a pile of burlap sacks in the corner filled with blocks of raw wax. You sit down on the sacks, leaning back against the soft mound. It is surprisingly comfortable. You watch the candles hanging in rows like stalactites. You breathe in the honey scent. In, out, in, out. You feel your eyelids growing heavy, glued down by the warmth. You feel your body relaxing, melting like the wax. You drift away from the workshop. You drift into the hive. You are sealed in amber. You are safe. You are warm. You are asleep. The warm scent of honey and wax fades gently away, replaced by the dry, scaly smell of old paper and gum arabic, as you find yourself sitting at a heavy oak desk in a private study tucked away in the turret of a quiet house, while a gentle storm rolls in off the hills. The room is circular, lined with shelves that curve along the walls, filled with leather binders and boxes. The only light comes from a brass desk lamp with a green glass shade that casts a pool of cool emerald light onto the blotter, while the rest of the room is draped in comforting shadow. You are wearing a soft velvet smoking jacket that is warm and loose, and you feel the solid with a chair supporting your back. You are here to sort your collection, to bring order to the tiny squares of paper that have traveled the world to reach you. You listen to the rain beginning to tap against the curved glass of the turret windows. Tap, tap, tap. It is a tentative sound, at first growing steadily into a rhythmic drumming that seals you off from the outside world. Drum, drum, drum. You reach for a small glassine envelope filled with unsorted stamps. You pour them out onto the green blotter, a cascade of colors and shapes falling with a soft, rustling sound. Rustle, whisper. You pick up a pair of philatelic tweezers, their tips flat and smooth, designed to hold without harming. You select a single stamp. It is a faded blue square from a country that no longer exists. You place it under the heavy magnifying glass. You lean forward, peering through the lens. The image jumps into focus. You see the tiny lines, the engraving, the portrait of a forgotten king. You see the serrated teeth of the perforations along the edge. You see the faint smudge of the cancellation marking that was stamped by a postal worker 100 years ago. You wonder whose hand held this letter, whose eyes read it. You turn the stamp over, examining the back. You pick up a tiny hinge, a small piece of folded paper. You moisten it slightly. You attach it to the back of the stamp. You open your large album. The page is thick and creamy, marked with grid lines. You find the designated square for this specific stamp. You place it carefully, aligning the edges with the printed box. You press it down gently. It is home. You repeat the process. You pick up a red stamp featuring a tropical bird. You admire the vibrant ink. You hinge it. You place it. Pick, lick, place. Pick, lick, place. It is a microscopic task that requires absolute focus, leaving no room for wandering thoughts. You work your way through the pile. Green stamps, brown stamps, purple stamps. You travel the globe without leaving your chair. You visit the jungles of Borneo, the mountains of Switzerland, the plains of Africa. You are a giant looking down on these tiny windows into other worlds. The rain intensifies outside, lashing against the glass. Lash splash, the wind whistles softly around the turret. Huh, huh. You feel incredibly safe inside your stone tower, surrounded by your paper treasures. You take a sip of lukewarm tea from a china, cup the liquid soothing your throat. You rub your eyes, which are beginning to feel the strain of the fine work. You look at the pile of sorted stamps. It is satisfying. You close the heavy album, the pages coming together with a soft thud. You push the chair back to it, scraping gently on the rug. You stand up and walk to the window. You cannot see out through the rain and the dark, but you can feel the storm. You feel the coolness radiating from the glass. You turn back to the room. In the corner is a narrow daybed covered in a paisley quilt. You walk over to it and lie down, curling up on your side. The quilt is soft and smells of cedar. You listen to the storm. You listen to the silence of the house. You close your eyes and see the stamps floating in the dark behind your eyelids. You see the tiny kings and queens, the tiny birds and flowers. They spin slowly in a kaleidoscope of color. You feel yourself shrinking down, becoming small enough to live inside one of the stamps. You are walking in the engraved landscape. You are safe. You are small. You are asleep. The green light of the study lamp dims and vanishes, leaving you in the comforting darkness of a vast observatory dome situated high above the cloud layer, where the air is thin and pure. You are lying on a reclining observation chair padded with thick velvet that contours to your spine, supporting you in a position of perfect rest. Above you, the great curved shutter of the dome is open, revealing a strip of the universe, a river of diamond stars flowing across the velvet black sky. You are wrapped in a heavy thermal blanket that keeps the chill of the mountain air at bay, creating a warm microclimate for your body. You listen to the silence of the high altitude of silence that is absolute and ringing. There is no wind here above the clouds, no animal sounds, no human sounds, just the silence of the void. You watch the stars. You see the Milky Way stretching like a band of spilled milk across the darkness. You see the steady, unblinking light of the planets. You see the faint fuzz of a distant nebula where new stars are being born. You feel a sense of infinite scale, a feeling that your life and your worries are microscopic specks in the face of this grandeur. It is a liberating feeling, a feeling of weightlessness. You hear the faint whir of the telescope motor tracking the rotation of the Earth. Whir, whir. It is a slow, steady sound that anchors you to the movement of the planet. You are spinning through space. You are traveling at thousands of miles an hour, but you feel perfectly still. You focus on a single blue star twinkling near the zenith. You watch it pulse. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. You imagine the light traveling for millions of years just to reach your eye. You close your eyes and the star remains an afterimage in the dark. You feel the chair reclining further back, tipping you into a horizontal position. You are floating in the dome, floating in the sky. The cold air on your face makes you snuggle deeper into the blanket. You feel your breath condensing in the air. In, out, in, out. You feel the heaviness of your body, the gravity of the earth, pulling you down, holding you safe, preventing you from drifting off into space. You are grounded. You are held. The observatory begins to fade. The stars begin to blur. You are drifting down from a mountain, drifting down through the clouds. You are descending slowly like a feather falling through the air. You drift past the stamps, past the candles, past the photos, past the loom. You drift past the balloon and the clocks and the boat. You drift past the wheel and the cave and the books. You drift past the greenhouse and the city and the canal. You drift past the cottage and the train and the forest. You drift past the bread and the fire and the truck. You're gathering all the silence from all these places, wrapping it around you like a cloak. You drift all the way down until you are back in your own bed in your own room. You feel the familiar weight of your own covers. You smell the familiar scent of your own pillow. You are home. The journey is finished. There is nowhere else to go. There is nothing else to see. There is only sleep. You let go of the last thread of consciousness. You let go of the last muscle tension. You let go of the last thought. You sink into the mattress. You sink into the floor. You sink into the earth. You are heavy. You are warm. You are safe. The world turns silently in the dark. The stars watch over you. The night covers you. You are asleep. You are asleep. You are asleep.